背中だ。背中に回れ。
いやいやいやいやいやいやよ。
よし。ジャスト。
Hello there, and welcome back to Tiger Drop Films, and if this is your first time stopping by, then welcome. And today I'm going to go back talking about another favorite franchise of mine, that being Ultraman. It's been a hot minute since I've made an Ultraman related video, and I thought now is a great time. You see, the latest animated Ultraman film, that being Ultraman Rising, recently hit Netflix, and I'm glad it's been getting a lot of praise because I was pleasantly surprised. And I definitely believe it deserves all the praise it's getting. I genuinely had a great time with this film and it pulled at the heartstrings in all the right ways. I just overall had a great time watching it with my two brothers. And as an older brother myself, I gotta say, I truly felt something with this film. But anyway, I want to use this video as a way to sort of review the film briefly, but also as a way to help people find other Ultraman films to watch. If they really liked Rising and they're new to the franchise, maybe you're just a new fan who's always liked Godzilla and you want to check out the brother franchise of 2 Godzilla, that being Ultraman. Or maybe you're a parent who watched Ultraman Rising with your kid and you want to see what other films to check out before everyone gets into all the many Ultraman TV shows. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if you've just watched Ultraman Rising, then I highly recommend 2001's Ultraman Cosmos First Contact. It's a really great film, and it really explores just how much Ultraman means to kids. The protagonist of this film is Musashi, and he would grow up to be the protagonist of, well, the Ultraman Cosmos TV show. But in the film, it really explores Musashi and his friends looking up to Ultraman and the eventual battle and conflict with the alien Volton race. It's a really fascinating film, and if you want a deeper coverage of it, then check out me and my buddies' podcast, G-Force, a kaiju podcast. In it, we go more in depth about the themes of the film, but overall, Ultraman Cosmos as a concept is an Ultraman built around peace, and finding some kind of meaningful ground to stand on with your enemies, and hopefully resolving things without using too much violence. But with that in mind and the focus on kids and having a unique blue Ultraman design of some great tokusatsu effects, Ultraman Cosmos The First Contact is also a really good introduction in general to Ultraman. And the film itself serves as a spiritual reimagining of episode 2 of the original Showa 1966 Ultraman series. So yeah, I definitely recommend this film. Next we have, well, 2004's Ultraman The Next, a film that I've also covered already on my channel. Here's the video if you want to check it out. But The Next is a film that I believe there should be some viewer discretion advised if you're a parent showing a kid, because there is some slight gruesome imagery in this film. It's nothing major, but there's a bit of uncanny value to it that just be on the lookout for. It's not too much, but want to let you know. But with that aside, The Next is a very personal film, and if you really liked the family and fatherhood themes of Ultraman Rising, then you're gonna love The Next. Tokusatsu and CGI effects are stellar in this film, and much like with Cosmos, Ultraman The Next is a reimagining of a classic Ultraman episode, with that being the very first episode of the original Ultraman show, where he fights a monster named Bimilar, that is sort of recreated in this film. As The Next, the classic story about people's lives being interrupted by kaiju, and it's just generally a really fascinating take on the idea of man and Ultra bonding to become Ultraman versus a monster on the loose. It's really good stuff. And like I said, there's really great themes about family and bonds, and it also incorporates why, once again, kids and adults like Ultraman. So I highly recommend Ultraman The Next. And if you end up liking The Next, then I very much recommend the following TV series, Ultraman Nexus. It's a very good show. For the next film I want to bring up, it would have to be Shin Ultraman. Now, why is that? It's also one I've covered more in depth in a past video. Here it is on the screen. But I believe that Shin Ultraman can be a really good starting point if you just kind of go into it thinking that there is going to be some things you're not really going to understand, By that I mean that Shin Ultraman is a film that you kind of have to have a little bit of familiarity with Ultraman, more so than Shin Godzilla was. But even with that in mind, you can still really enjoy Shin Ultraman if you just want to see really great special effects, a strong human cast, and a very good theme about humanity growing up and defending itself, and just overall the human experience being worth it. That is what I would consider the main themes of the film to be. And you get a really great recreation of the original Ultraman. Then we get some classic episodes reimagined and a new plot, kind of like what I mentioned. Cosmos and the Next were also films that reimagined certain things about the original show. Well, Shin Ultraman doubled downs on that by having Ultraman that looks way more like the original, including music and just a bunch of foes that we haven't seen in a while. It's a really good watch if you just want to see a more modern looking Ultraman, kind of like Ultraman Rising. So by now I've brought up 3 films that you can check out if you saw Ultraman Rising. However, there is 2 more that go hand in hand that I think could be a pretty interesting breakthrough into the franchise if you're still new to it and you just really, love Godzilla, Gamera, or just any other tokusatsu franchise. And I do think that Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Absolute Conspiracy and its direct sequel, Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Destined Crossroad, can be a really great time. And I only say that because I think that these 2 projects are just a crash course and just getting bombarded with a bunch of amazing Ultramen from the franchise's legacy. And you can find these 2 on YouTube directly, especially the fact that they have English dubs. And I do think that The Absolute Conspiracy and The Destined Crossroad can be a really great place to just experience a multitude of Ultramen and Ultra Women in tokusatsu form, and it's just Ultras, by the way. There's no humans in these 2 projects, which is interesting. Kind of like how Godzilla X Kong New Empire kind of focused more on the kaiju. That's kind of what these 2 projects are for Ultraman. And you get not only a greatest hits of reoccurring Ultras, but you get a bunch of villains that are brought back for really good fist fights, I gotta say. The music's great, the effects are amazing. Like, these 2 projects are primarily in green screen, but it's hard to tell. That's how far the compositing is getting in this franchise, and it's really good. So I definitely recommend The Absolute Conspiracy and The Destined Crossroad. Once again, you can find them both on the official Ultraman channel, and they also include English dubs if you want that. So yeah, if you just want to enjoy a bunch of Ultras fighting, then yeah, I would definitely say these 2 films, because they are pretty just unique. You don't really have to know too much of the lore, and while if you did, it would make it a better experience. You can still just kind of jump into it, and they'll tell you who every Ultra is, and you get to see so many cool powers and just dynamics and relationships on screen. And it's fan service, but I think that if you just want to experience Ultraman as a whole, then this is a really awesome place to go. So I've talked about some pretty good starting points film-wise for Ultraman. Of course, you can pretty much jump into any TV show. Keep that in mind. Any TV show. They're all pretty standalone. Just go to YouTube, find that first episode of some show that catches your eye, and you can start there. Really, I mean it. You can ask any other Ultraman fan and they'll tell you the same thing. But I always thought that since Ultraman Rising was a film that was standalone, then I thought some of these projects could be a pretty good place just if you want to experience Ultraman for the first couple times. But now I want to go into a little quick, mild spoiler review for Ultraman Rising. I just gotta get off my chest. So, here we go. Like I said, I loved watching Ultraman Rising with my brothers. I was pleasantly surprised with this, and I'm happy it honored the heart of Ultraman's legacy. The film itself also had some light bite to it, with violence, cursing, and an ice bath with beer that I appreciate, since Ultraman has always been about capturing the real world just like his brother franchise, Godzilla. The film also did new things with Ultraman and the kaiju and animation that truly took advantage of this medium. For instance, the scene on the little Ultraman cave, or Ken is having to pick up Emmy over the little, I guess, fish tank he put her in to kind of just keep her there. Some really just nice shots and just scope of the scene that would be hard to do in anything else except animation. So I'm really happy the film took advantage of being an animated feature. Ultraman himself having pupils and being able to talk as the man through the Ultra is something we don't see too often, but it works well here. Usually it's just the separate entity of the Ultra and then the human host they find, or the Ultra creates a human host, but here it just seems to be honestly just an alter ego for Ken Sato, and I really like that. It's a nice little breath of fresh air, and Ultraman having blue eyes is pretty cool too. And I find it interesting that much like Shin and other Ultra films I mentioned, like Cosmos and the Next, that also can serve as an introduction to the character, Rising on the other hand barely explains where Ultraman came from. It just rolls with him being a force of good, but it looks like a sequel will explore this more. And I gotta say, the fact that I saw the Godzilla victory jump from 1965's Invasion of Astro Monster be straight up recreated in this film in 2024 had me grinning like a madman. That was beautiful. The fact that Emmy recreated that jump just made my day. If you think about it, we saw Godzilla's drop kick return in last year's versus Megalon short film, so it's just great seeing all these parts of Godzilla's moveset catalog return in glory and just pure sincerity. I like it. When it comes to our protagonist Ken Sato, I really liked his bond of Emmy, the little kaiju. It was endearing and it pulled at the heartstrings several times. Like I said, I have younger brothers, so this film really tugged at my heartstrings. And with that in mind, Ultraman Rising even made me feel empathy for an AI character, which is hard to do for me. I also adore that this film was about humans versus Ultraman. It's a plotline throughout the franchise that adds a nice complexity to the world these characters inhabit. And kudos to Christopher Sean's amazing performance as Ken. And now we also have had Tamlin Tomita in both an Ultraman and Godzilla project within the past year, which is awesome. I'm happy to see Tomita in more stuff too. And yeah, Christopher Sean's voice was amazing. He really sold me as Ken, from his humor, his seriousness, and to his just overall emotional core and his connection with his father, Ultraman Dad. It really added a lot of flavor to the film that I appreciated. And I love that the Ultra Dad, when he came back in his Ultraman form, he had a mustache. That was great. Reminded me of Father Ultra or Ultraman King. Good stuff. So overall, yeah, the animation was incredible, and I did enjoy the music, and the fights were really good, and just the character emotion, and just the overall scope, and all these scenes, the scale, the lighting, it's just the overall dynamism, Ultraman Dana, really good. I loved it. So overall, Ken's relationships and connections, his bonds with his Ultra Dad, Ami, Mina, and Emmy sold me on this story. I'm looking forward to sequels. What a time to be a kaiju fan. Should watch. So that's going to bring this video to a close. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a returning viewer, then mwah, I'm so happy to see you back. And if you're a new viewer and this video helped you in any way, maybe find a new way to get an Ultraman, then I hope it helped. And I hope you stick around. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, because I got more videos coming. From Ultraman to Godzilla, to Like a Dragon, Yakuza, and Resident Evil and Transformers, and so many more things I want to make videos of. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Stay tuned, and take care.